we have another, another personality from the world of cancer care and oncology. We have Dr. Barbara McAneny, who has joined us this evening. Thank you, Barbara, for being here. And as Barbara gets ready for her session, I'd like to introduce her. She's a passionate advocate for both patients and physicians, a champion for physician empowerment. She seeks elimination of unnecessary regulatory requirements. She helped develop the new AMA policy as the chair and member of the Council of Medical Service. Barbara has also founded New Mexico Cancer Center Foundation that assists patients with non-medical needs. She's also a founder and organizer of multiple practice groups. Welcome to the event, Barbara. We have a question for you, Barbara, and that is, you've had a meteoric rise to the apex of the healthcare associations at the AMA. Congratulations, and we know how much hard work has gone into that. But what do you think of this book, not only as an individual level, but at the macrosomic level? How would you share the strategic view in which we look at the book?
First of all, thank you very much for honoring me with being able to participate in this meeting. It is wonderful to see my friend Kashyap launch his book and become not only an accomplished physician, but an accomplished author. So I'm quite honored to be here. As I spent my term as the AMA president, going around the country, I saw many, many physicians who had a bit lost their way. I saw a lot who were suffering from what we're now calling burnout. People who had lost some of the joy of medicine. And it's clear that they need to read this book. The greatest privilege of being a practicing physician is the window that it gives you into the soul of your patients. Patients will share with their physician secrets that they don't tell their closest friends. You can become intimate with their thoughts and their dreams in a way that no other profession allows. And that is actually what sustains us as doctors, as well as helps our patients. That bond, that relationship is the underpinnings of everything we do in healthcare, in being a doctor and caring for a patient. It is the highest honor that patients allow us that relationship. Most people, in order to really be able to empathize with someone who has been very ill or is very ill, have had to have an illness themselves. In order to really have that empathy, in order to really place yourself in someone else's shoes, it is a rare person like Dr. Patel who can gather in that empathy and step into his patients' hearts in the way that he shows in this book. I'm hoping that physicians across the country and maybe across the world will read this book so that they see what they're missing and they see what's missing in their lives as they struggle through being an employed physician and trying to churn out patients as if they were widgets. To see the humanity of each individual patient is what brings joy to medicine, and that is the antidote to burnout and dissatisfaction. The other lessons that I would hope people would learn from this book is that you need to have total honesty with patients. Reading, it felt like watching as I read the book, but seeing in my mind's eye Dr. Patel interacting with his patients, he always told them the truth. But the real skill of a physician is to imbue that truth with kindness, with empathy, with the ability to understand not only that you need to say the words, but how that patient needs to hear those words at that point. I also noticed throughout the stories that there were many times when he would comment on how he touched the patient, physically held their hand, put his hand on their shoulder. I think we sometimes lose the importance of touch as establishing that relationship, especially now in the days of COVID, where it's harder to touch people, I still miss its absence. But I think having that bond that we create through empathy, through honesty, through kindness, and through touch is a very valuable lesson for all physicians and perhaps for all people. The other comment about the book that I think is really valuable for everyone to hear is that it shows the bravery of patients. People who are facing something that is unimaginable to those of us who have not yet faced our own deaths, is that they come with grace and courage and kindness themselves is just a remarkable thing. It really brings forth your concerns and your recognition of the goodness of people in general. It also brings forth the idea and the concept that Dr. Patel really expresses nicely in this book, which is the importance of a good death. And sometimes, as an oncologist, that is all we have to offer, is a good death. And for those of us who have ever seen a bad death, we really understand the difference in this. So I think this book is a remarkable accomplishment, and I consider it my great privilege to be able to call this wise and insightful man my good friend, Dr. Patel.